I've started writing quite a bit. This started back in December, into December, early January. And it's been so freaking good for me. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner, but for some reason, writing has helped me with articulating my thoughts, understanding what's going on in my head, processing things. Before it felt like everything was just trapped up in there, like bouncing around, and now it feels like it's a river just like flowing out, and it's feels really good for my creative process. So I decided to start a newsletter. And I feel like everyone's doing that right now. Newsletter, podcast, whatever, but this feels like really good for me. One of the reasons why I came across this idea was I wanted to create a system for content in my creative process. As I was thinking about this idea, I stumbled across a couple of different creators who do this. They write their newsletter every day, and then they turn it into a long form video. They chop it up into short form. They take their tweets and their threads from the newsletter. So basically it just like takes care of all the content platforms, and it makes it super simple because you just have to focus on one thing, and that's the newsletter, daily writing. And as I was falling into writing and learning this information and wanting to systemize my creative process, it all hit me at the same time, and I was like, wow, this makes so much sense. So I signed up for Beehive. I started this newsletter. I'm calling it Luke's Letter. And basically, I am just practicing storytelling right now and practicing writing. I have no freaking clue where this is going to go or where I even want it to go. But what I'm excited about is finally getting to the point where I can create enough content to be posting consistently. I want to get to the point where I'm posting every day, potentially maybe 6 days a week on Instagram. Because I think that's the only way I can see that people are growing right now. I think you have to feed the freaking machine. You got to feed the beast, feed the algorithm content. I know I've known this for years, but I've never had the pieces in place to do this. And so that's kind of my idea behind it. I've been so sporadic with my creative process and my note taking and my ideas. I have some ideas in my notes, some ideas I write down, like it's all spread out. Some of them I save from Instagram, like whatever. And so now it just feels like I'm creating a system around my creativity and my content, and like that's how it should be. That's how it should be. At least that's what feels right now. So all that being said, the newsletter is happening, the writing is happening, and this is my first time sitting down shooting a long form video like this. So this is the first episode of the Luke's Letter newsletter. Welcome. These past couple months have been really wild for me. Let's back up before that. This past year has been one of the hardest years of my life, if not the hardest. I remember in August, specifically my birthday month, when I turned 27, I had the hardest month of my life. Combination of being broke, not having a clear direction, trying to go sober, not understanding myself, having a hard time in my relationship. Everything just seemed really freaking hard. And I've always felt like my 28th year of life would be my golden year for some reason. Ever since I was a kid, I thought 28 would be my year. And as I'm approaching that, I'm realizing that I'm not where I want to be, and I'm needing to change some things. So I have been working on that through stopping smoking weed, stopping drinking, breaking up with my girlfriend, and a lot of other things, I feel like I have finally found a really good flow for life. Of course, it's not perfect. Of course, I'm still perfecting it, but I feel a lot better about where I'm at now than I did a couple months ago. I think it's because I'm being brutally honest with myself about what I need to do to advance. I've realized that videography is not enough to get me there. I've realized that no one is gonna just hand me this life I want on a plate. I don't know about you, but I kind of always thought something magical would happen and I would just end up getting the life I want. But I think that I finally realized that no, it's gonna take a frick ton of work. And that's good. The work that I'm doing right now is doing work on me, and it's changing me to the person that I need to be. I feel way more peaceful about life. I feel way more happy. But it's been hard, man. It's been really hard. So I want to talk about that a little bit. A year ago, I was a travel videographer. I was shooting a travel documentary with another guy, and we were traveling the world. I was getting paid to travel and film it, and as a videographer, that's kind of like the dream sometimes, is to be a travel videographer and to get paid to film the world. And I definitely had those moments where I was like, I finally made it, you know? And it felt really freaking good. It felt good when I was able to quit serving full-time and do full-time freelance. It felt good when I hit 10K a month from content creation. Had multiple moments where I was like, I did it, you know? And then you realize that it's hard to rely on creativity over and over again to put food on the table. And I can't rely on another gig to provide for myself. It gets exhausting, or even a family one day. So I noticed that all of the older filmmakers that I talked to and got mentored from, they all either had a course or product or some type of other job in media that was kind of like supplying them with income. I rarely see older filmmakers that are doing freelance that are like crushing it and consistent and that they're happy. Just like, it's a hard space. I think you have to put these systems in place to get there. So right now I'm curious about where this is going to take me. My best idea right now and kind of my working thesis is that I want to put the pieces in place to make content consistently on all platforms. Newsletter takes care of the writing and the email. I'll pull from my newsletter the long form for YouTube. I'll chop that up into short form. I'll pull tweets and threads from the newsletter. And I think that takes care of all of them. You got email, you got Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, TikTok, you got tweets, you got threads. Pretty powerful combo right there. And I'm really anxious to see how it goes. I feel like I see these accounts that are posting garbage, but they're posting like 10 times a day. And they have tons of followers because of that. So I'm finally just biting the bullet and thinking that I just need to produce more content and I need to create a system for that. Systemize my creative process. So I'm really excited to see where this goes. It sort of is a test. It's definitely a big test. But we'll see what happens. What's the dream for me right now? After being kind of burnt by multiple clients, this year in particular, for some reason I've had so many people say that they're gonna take me on as a videographer, or I've started with working for them and shooting for them, and then things fall through, or I've started to shadow them and shoot with them, and then I never hear back from them one day. And I don't feel like I'm stupid. I feel like I'm doing a good job, and I'm learning well. Obviously there's more things I could do better, of course, and I'm always learning, but after being let down so many times, I've kind of got to the point where I just want to provide for myself. I don't want to have to rely on other people. I hear my mom's like voice in the back of my head saying like, you have to rely on other people to go farther and to go faster. Like, you need other people. If you do something alone, it's going to take a long time. And I hear that, and I know I'm going to have to work with other people. But I would love to not have to rely on other people for my income necessarily. And what I mean by that is, like, if I can systemize this process, and if I can make money through my writing and through maybe consulting or coaching, or by helping other people with this, that's what I mean by relying on myself, like solopreneur type thing. That's what sounds cool. It's like, it's COVID proof. I think it's AI proof. Like, that is another reason why I'm excited about writing, is because I think that we'll always need writing. Even with chat coming out and things like that, you're gonna need a prompt engineer behind the screen, like asking these questions, and everything I think has been said before. I think in writing, probably everything has already been said throughout time. There's millions of books, but no one has said it from my perspective. And I think that's what's cool. If you can package up your words and your experience in a way that communicates well and relates to others, I think there's something there. So what I want to lean into is being super authentic and learning how to package up my experience in a way that others can relate to, and that it helps them, and that it challenges them and makes them want to be more real and authentic. And I don't know if you can monetize off that. I really don't. So yesterday I had a phone call with my mom, and I got thrown off a bit. I'll be honest. I kind of got confused. Yeah. I kind of got confused. We were talking about my thing, like, what's my thing? And throughout the convo, it felt like she was saying that maybe I should try something else besides content, because it's gonna take a while and we don't really know if it'll work out. And because of where my head was at, I just got down about that, and I kind of let it sink in a bit too much. But then I was writing, and I remembered that if money was no object, this is what I would do. 100%. I've known that. If money was no object, I would make videos and I would write every single day. That's the ideal life for me. That's what I want to do. And so I think people want to be free and create what they want to create and live off their passions and their interests. And that's what I'm so curious about. I see other people getting there and doing that, but I don't know how to do that quite yet. I'm tired. It's 10:19 right now. Anyway, I remember being in Colombia and Brazil and feeling so lonely, like so lonely. And it was hard for me because I was like, I'm living the videographer's dream. You know what I mean? Like, why am I so sad right now? I went to counseling again, and I just remember sitting at a coffee shop in Colombia and thinking, like, why do I feel so empty right now? I think it was because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. Like, I want to have friends and people around me. If I'm traveling, I want to do it with people I love, not for work necessarily. So that's been a massive shift that's been taking place inside of me is I used to want to travel all the time, and that's all I wanted to do was just to go to the next place and the next place and the next place, because it was just new and exciting, and I was new to the people there, and so I was exciting to them, and that felt good. But now that's all changed. Like, traveling has become unattractive to me for some reason. It wrecks your sleep, your eating, your working out, and your work, and like those are the things that I want to do right now. Those are so important to me. It's kind of all I want to do. And so as this shift has been taking place inside of me, I've realized that like I want to be able to make money inside of the four corners of my house. You know what I mean? Or not even that. I want to make money through this and through this and through this. And to me, that's it, man. I would much rather work on that than have a normal job. My mom was saying, Luke, it could take 10 to 15 years. And I kind of was like, I expect it to. It's not going to be easy. But if I get there, the life I envision of waking up, writing for a couple hours, shooting some content, and then having the rest of the day to do whatever I want, that sounds awesome. That would be dope. And I think a lot of people maybe would agree. I think we want to spend our time on earth like working a little bit, but not all the time. I think that I'm trying to do more high leverage opportunities and tasks, and I'm in that grind season right now for sure, and I need to be. Just sitting around and waiting is just not gonna do it. It's not gonna just happen. It's not gonna fall into my lap. I think that the work has to be done. You have to put the systems in place, and then it might come. Maybe. Oh, goodness. I've thought about going back to restaurants and serving again, because freelance is stressful. It's hard. It feels like a constant grind. As soon as you land one gig, it's like relief for a second, but then you start to question if you have what it takes to keep this client around and make them happy. And if I was serving, I would just be able to focus all my creative on my content, and the money thing is taken care of. So imagine I'm serving at night and I have all day to write and make content, and then at night I can just turn that part off and start serving and make my money and then repeat. It's like 2 focuses. That's it. Super simple. Writing and serving. Content and serving. But I feel like God kind of closed the door on the restaurants right now, and he's provided me with some clients that I'm really excited about. I really am. My work is fulfilling right now. I'm being pushed and I'm being challenged, and these new clients are making me level up, and I think that's a good thing. But I do wonder sometimes if I put all my creative into my stuff, if I would have a faster payout, perhaps, or if I would get there faster. And by there, I mean more followers, a bigger audience, and making some money off of my content. Right now, I shoot for other people and I make money from that, but why can't I do that for myself? I'm not there yet. That's what I'm working on. In this last season, I had to resort to shoot for some old clients, and it was hard. It was clients I didn't necessarily want to shoot for, but they needed me and I needed money. So I remember being broke and shooting at these crazy parties in LA, parties where it was lawyers that had won 9-figure cases. Like, I was surrounded by so much money. Meanwhile, I had like $200 in my bank account, and I just felt like such an imposter. It was such a weird time of like being in these rooms with people that are so freaking rich, man. Meanwhile, I'm putting $10 of gas in my car at a time just to make it to the next shoot. And And I think that being broke has been one of the best things that's ever happened to me. Definitely one of the hardest, but dude, understanding the value of money is insane. One of the crazy experiences I had was like, I was in Vegas with a client and we met one of his friends and he gave me like $700 cash to go play the slots. And I'm holding that money in my hand and I'm like, damn, this would be so helpful right now. This would last quite a while, because when you're broke, you learn how to make money stretch for sure. And they were watching me put it in and it was gone in seconds. Evaporated just like that. And it's just weird how the universe presents you with stuff like that. Being broke and getting handed $700 in a casino and watching it melt away in seconds. It's fucking crazy. Fucking hard, desperate times. Fucking hard, desperate times, man. Maybe I'll start a newsletter and call it Luke's Letter. But what'll I teach? What will it be about? Will it just be documentation about my life? Or maybe it'll be a place for my thoughts to exist. Perhaps letters written now meant for later. I do always wish that I could see and read and understand what these bigger people like Dan Coe and Alex Hormozi were thinking when they began their journey. One day I do know I want to write books. One day I do hope to have a bigger platform to help people. And so I'm hoping that this documentation process will be valuable one day. Who knows? But it feels right now. And it makes me excited. And it's making me learn the things that I need to learn in order to advance. And that's a good thing. So cheers to number 1. This is the first Luke's Letter. And I hope you enjoy it. Here's to this journey and what it'll do for me, how to help my creative process and help me be more real and honest. Hopefully I can learn more about myself and help people along the way. That's my goal. I also want to make some money off of my content, but I got a long way to go before that happens. Thanks for watching.